Hi, hello. Welcome to the best choice to learn for competitive exams. Today we are going to discuss about the Buddhism. Before we are going to discuss about the Buddhism, we have to know who founded Buddhism, what was his original name, what are the reasons to left the home by Buddha, what is meant by enlightenment, and where did he get the enlightenment, where did he give his first sermon, what are the Buddhist councils, what is meant by Hinayana and Mahayana, what is meant by code of conduct, and what are the four noble truths. Coming to the point, Buddhism. Buddhism was founded by Gautama. His original name is Siddhartha. His father was Suddhodana. He was the chief of the Sakya clan, and his mother was Maya. He was born in about 567 BC in Lumbini. Presently, it is in Nepal. Siddhartha was provided with a comfortable and happy life. He married Yashodhara and he had a son, Rahul. Yet the royal splendors did not make him content. He was moved by human miseries in the form of old age, sickness, death, and disillusionment, that is monk. The misery of the human life cast a deep spell on Gautama. In order to find a solution to the miseries of mankind, he left his wife Yasodhara and son Rahul at the age of 29. At the age of 29 and wandered from place to place in ascetic garb. This event is known as the Great Renunciation. Gautama spent 6 years as a wandering ascetic and had discussions with the sages and Brahmins. Their teachings did not help Gautama to find a solution. In order to find the truth, he resorted to rigid austerities of various kinds of self-torture. Ultimately, he abandoned everything and went to Uruvela on the banks of river Niranjan and sat under the pipal tree, that is Bodhi tree, and meditated. He attained supreme knowledge, that is enlightenment. On the 49th day of his continuous meditation. The place where he got enlightenment is known as Bodh Gaya. Thenceforth, he came to be known as Buddha. The first sermon, he proceeded to the deer park at Sarnath near Varanasi and gave his first sermon, which is described as a Dharma Chakra Parivartana. The royal families of Kapilavastu, Magadha, and Koshala were attracted towards Buddhism. It was in about 487 BC. He died at the age of 80 at Kushinagara. And the teachings of Buddha. The Buddha did not accept the God as a creator or destiny maker. He preached Antamavada, no Atma, and Anityavada, nothing is eternal and everything undergoes change. He did not accept the sanctity and supremacy of Vedas and Yagnas and rejected the caste system. He stressed that man is the maker of his own destiny. The first sermon of Buddha at Sarnath contains his philosophy. His teachings were simple and conveyed to the masses in their languages, that is Prakriti, that is Pali, and does not in Sanskrit. The essence of his teachings are contained in the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. The Four Noble Truths, that is, world is full of suffering. The four Noble Truths are: the world is full of suffering. All sufferings have a cause. Desire, ignorance, and attachment are the causes of suffering. The suffering can be removed by destroying its cause, that is, by curbing the desire. In order to remove suffering, one must pursue the right path. This path is the Eightfold Path, that is the Ashtangika Marga, which leads to salvation. It is also known as the Golden Path or Middle Path, that is Madhyamika Marga. In order to end our sufferings, Gautam Buddha advocated the Eightfold Path, that is the 8 codes of conduct. They are right belief, right thought, right speech, right action, right means of livelihood, right effort, right meditation, and right remembrance or memory. These Eightfold Path is considered as a middle path between extreme asceticism and self-indulgence. The Buddha preached nirvana. Here, nirvana means peacefulness and happiness like heaven. The ultimate goal in the life of a man is the nirvana. By a process of elimination of desire, one can attain nirvana. Prayers and sacrifices will not end the desire. He laid emphasis on the moral life of an individual. According to his karma theory, the present is determined by the actions of past. The present is determined by the actions of past. The condition of a man in this life depends upon his own actions. As his actions are karma or responsible for his suffering, he can secure salvation by perfecting his own deeds. No eternal force, either God or rituals, can give him a salvation. Thus, man becomes the maker of his own destiny. The Buddha neither accepted nor rejected the existence of God. He was more concerned about the individual and his actions. Buddhism also did not believe in the existence of soul. The Buddha emphasized the spirit of love. Love could be expressed on all living beings by following ahimsa, that is, non-violence. The Buddha preached the basic equality of all men. He had no faith in caste system. He had no faith in caste system. He also disapproved the supremacy of Brahmins and laid down the concept of universal brotherhood. The Buddha condemned the practice of rituals and sacrifices, especially animal sacrifice. He rejected the authority of Vedas and insisted that everything must be subjected to scrutiny or reason. He laid stress on morality. He advised his disciples to lead an honest and disciplined life. He also advised people to practice non-violence and not to indulge in corrupt practices. The Buddha established Sangha to propagate his principles and to render services to the people. During the lifetime of Gautam Buddha, his movement made rapid progress. Rituals are replaced by a moral order. And coming to the Buddhist councils, from time to time, four different councils of the Buddhists were called to celebrate important events or to decide policy matters of great importance. In that, the first Buddhist council, the first council was called in about 487 BC on the occasion of Buddha's death at Rajagriha, the capital of Magadha. King Ajatashatru sponsored the first Buddhist council. About 500 members came to attend the first Buddhist council. They collected teachings of Buddha. They are in the Pali language and are named as Vinaya Pitaka, Siddha Pitaka and Abhidhamma Pitaka. The Mahakashyapa called on Ananda, a cousin of Buddha, who had been the Buddha's closest companion. Ananda was famous for his prodigious memory. Ananda recited all of the Buddha's sermons from memory. The council agreed that Ananda's recitation was accurate and the collection of sutras Ananda recited was adopted by the council. Two of the three baskets are. It was from the presentation of Upali and Ananda at the first Buddhist council that the first two sections or baskets came into being. In that, Vinaya Pitaka. Vinaya Pitaka is nothing but a basket of discipline. This section is attributed to the recitation of Upali. It is a collection of texts concerning the rules of discipline and conduct for monks and nuns. Suddha Pitaka. Suddha Pitaka is nothing but basket of sutras. This section was attributed to the recitation of Ananda. It contains thousands of sermons and discourses attributed to the Buddha and few of his disciples. And the second Buddhist council. The second Buddhist council was held at Vaishali. It was patronized by Kala Ashoka, presided over by the Sabakami. Vaishali is an ancient city in what is now the state of Bihar in northern India. It is bordering to the Nepal. This council probably was held about a century after the first one, or about 386 BCE. And the third Buddhist council. The third Buddhist council was held in 251 BC during the reign of Ashoka at Pataliputra. It was presided over by Mogaliputta Tissa, the most renowned Buddhist of his times. In this council, some of the internal differences of the monks were patched up, and several reforms were introduced in the monastic life with the chief aim of the bringing purity in it. The council also made some additions and alterations to the existing Buddhist Pali canon by bringing together the Vinaya Pitaka and Dhamma Pitaka with the Kathavatu of Abhidhamma Pitaka. The Abhidhamma Pitaka is nothing but basket of special teachings. This section is also called the Abhidharma Pitaka in Sanskrit. It contains commentaries and analysis of sutras. The Abhidhamma Pitaka explores the psychological and spiritual phenomena described in the suttas and provides a theoretical foundation for understanding them. And the fourth Buddhist council. The fourth and the last Buddhist council was held during the reign of Kanishka at Kundalwana in Kashmir, the 1st century AD. In this council, Buddhism split into two, Hinayana and Mahayana. The council was presided over by the Vasumitra and Ashwagosha and had to deal with a serious conflict between the Sarvastivada teachers of Kashmir and Gandhara. By this, Buddhism divided into two, that is, Hinayana and Mahayana. The other names of the Hinayana are deficient vehicle, abandoned vehicle, or defective vehicle. It believes in the original teachings of Buddha or doctrine of elders. It is an orthodox. It does not believe in idol worship and tries to attain individual salvation through self-discipline and meditation. The ultimate aim of the Hinayana is the Nirvana. Theravada is a Hinayana sect. Ashoka patronized Hinayana. Pali, the language of masses, was used by the Hinayana scholars. And Mahayana. Mahayana are great vehicles. It believes in the heavenliness of Buddha and idol worship of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, embodying the Buddha nature. It is not orthodox. It spread from India to various countries including China and Southeast Asian nations. Mahayana believed in universal liberation from suffering for all beings. The ultimate aim of the Mahayana is spiritual upliftment. It believes in mantras. Language of Mahayana was predominantly Sanskrit. Similarities between Hinayana and Mahayana. Both adopt one and the same was Vinaya Pitaka, and they have in common the prohibition of the 5 offenses and also the practice of 4 noble truths. And literature of Buddhism. Jatakas. Jatakas are the tales of previous births of Buddha in poems. It was mentioned in Kuddaka Nikaya. It has 547 poems. The Jatakas are called Jatakamala in Sanskrit, Saitak in Cambodia, Sadok in Chinese. Milinda Panha. It literally means questions of Milinda. The dialogue between Indo-Greek king Mindar or Milinda and the monk Nagasena. The monk Nagasena followed Buddhism and he is explaining about the Buddhism to the Milinda. It was initially written in Sanskrit. It was printed in 6th Buddhist Council in 1954. And causes for the decline of Buddhism in India. The revival of Brahmanism and the rise of Bhagavatism. The Buddhists began to adopt Sanskrit, the language of the elite. The practice of idol worship. The attack of the Huns in 5th and 6th centuries and the Turkish invaders in 12th century destroyed the monasteries. This is about the Buddhism. By this, the topic Buddhism is ended. Thank you.